When I first bought my cabin in the mountains, I thought I was buying peace.
Ah,
It sat on 5 acres of pine-covered hillside, 2 miles from the nearest paved road, and most importantly, far away from any homeowners association. No dues, no rules about what color my door could be, no letters about my grass length, just me, nature, and the occasional deer wandering into my yard. For 2 years, life was blissfully quiet. Spent my weekends chopping wood, fishing in the nearby creek, and fixing up the cabin with my own hands. My nearest neighbor was half a mile away. The only community I interacted with was the general store clerk, who knew my coffee order by heart. Then, one sunny Tuesday morning, a white SUV rolled up my gravel driveway. 4 people in polo shirts with clipboards stepped out like they owned the place. Their shirts read, "Maple Ridge HOA Board." The violation noticed the woman in the lead, a tall, severe-looking lady with a haircut sharp enough to cut glass. Introduced herself as Karen Thompson, HOA President. "Mr. Reynolds," she began, "you are in violation of multiple HOA regulations. We are issuing a fine of $30,000 to be paid within 60 days. I blinked at her. "Excuse me? I'm not in your HOA?" Karen gave me a pitying look, the way a teacher might look at a slow student. "All properties in the Maple Ridge community fall under HOA governance." She handed me a thick packet of violations, from unapproved exterior color to unregistered outbuildings to improper fence height.
nice.
I flipped through the pages and laughed. "Lady, my cabin isn't even in Maple Ridge. The nearest Maple Ridge house is over a mile away." Her expression hardened. "That may have been true before, but our community recently voted to extend our jurisdiction to cover all properties within a 3-mile radius. That includes you." I actually laughed again, harder this time. "You can't just vote to take over land you don't own." The harassment campaign, I figured it was a stupid misunderstanding that would blow over. Oh, how wrong I was. Within a week, I started receiving certified letters demanding payment. Then came the threats. Failure to comply will result in a lien on your property. They even sent a so-called compliance inspector to photograph my cabin from the road. By week 3, things escalated. I came home one Friday to find bright orange notice of delinquency signs staked into my front yard. A Maple Ridge newsletter went out naming me as a non-compliant and disruptive property owner who was endangering community property values. I knew I needed to act fast before these people got any crazier. The legal reality step 1 was to verify exactly where my property sat. I pulled my DAD tax records and a copy of the county zoning map. My cabin's parcel was clearly outside the Maple Ridge HOA boundaries. I then scheduled a meeting with a real estate attorney. After showing her the documents, she chuckled. "Have zero jurisdiction over you," she said. "Everything they've sent you is legally meaningless. But the moment they start filing false liens or harassing you, we can nail them for abuse of process, defamation, and possibly fraud." That was music to my ears. I decided to let the rope out a little longer, give them enough to hang themselves. The final straw, sure enough. 2 weeks later, I received an official-looking letter from Maple Ridge HOA legal department stating they had filed a lien against my property for non-payment of fines. The problem for them? No such lien existed in county records. They had fabricated the claim. That's when my attorney said the magic words, "It's time to sue." We filed a civil complaint against the HOA and its board members personally for defamation, harassment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and attempted fraud. Court Datha, case made it to county court within 3 months. The board showed up in matching blazers, clearly expecting the judge to side with them because HOA rules are law. My attorney started by introducing the property maps, my deed and county zoning laws, proving my cabin was never part of Maple Ridge. She then submitted copies of every threatening letter, fabricated lien notice, and the HOA newsletter defaming me. The judge's expression went from neutral to furious. "Let me be clear," the judge said, glaring at the HOA table. "You have no legal authority over this man's property. Your so-called extension of jurisdiction is meaningless. And filing a false lien? That's not just civil liability, that's criminal fraud." Karen tried to sputter a defense, about protecting community standards, but the judge cut her off. This court is not a playground for power trips. The verdict the court awarded me, $50,000 in damages for harassment and defamation, full reimbursement of legal fees, a permanent injunction barring the HOA from contacting me or entering my property again. On top of that, the judge referred the matter to the county district attorney for possible criminal charges related to the false lien. The fallout within weeks. Word spread that Karen and 2 other board members had resigned under pressure. Several Maple Ridge residents emailed me to apologize, apparently. This wasn't their first time abusing power, but it was the first time someone had fought back and won. Now, my cabin is quieter than ever. The notice signs are gone. The harassment is stopped, and every so often, I'll hear rumors about Maple Ridge's new board having to attend HOA ethics training. Sometimes I sit on my porch with a cup of coffee, look out over the mountains, and smile. Because now, if anyone from the HOA tries to set foot on my land again, I can legally have them arrested. And that $50,000? Let's just say my new fence is taller, stronger, and completely unapproved by Maple Ridge standards, which makes it perfect.